Hi, Damien Girardin here, Head of Design and co-founder at Girardin. I'm going to talk to you about the Feather LW boards. So the concept with Feather LW was clearly to make a board that would take off on the foil at the lowest speed possible with the least amount of effort. Coming from downwind boards where you only have a paddle and whatever small wave or big wave you can find, we wanted to make something that really was as fast as possible to get up on foil. And then suddenly we started using them with a wing, and then the whole world of light wind was like a different game. Like literally the first time I tried, my brain was like exploding because I was like, wow, I can get going in like barely any wind anymore. And to me, that's really what makes these boards so exciting, is because we can now go in winds that we never even thought wind sports were fun. You can have a session in like, you know, from wind from 3 to 8 miles an hour of wind, or 2.5 to 7 knots of wind, and have a blast. You get fast, so you can actually take off now. But there's multiple ways to use these boards. You can use them in like a little more wind with a much smaller wing, or you can go in absolute no wind with like one of those big wings like the 9s or the 8s or the 7s that we're making. And then yeah, you go out when like no one's out, and suddenly you have that 9 to 5 job, and you have like that hour to go winging in your week or like for your lunch break. You don't have to worry if it's windy. You just take the board, take the wing that you need, take the proper foil, and you know you're gonna have that session. And I feel like a lot of us, you know, we have busy life, we wanna have that fun, and this is just a whole new world. And I'm super, super excited about this board for that reason. So the concept of this board is very simple. We're trying to get as much speed as possible before you actually plane or get on foil. And to reach that, there's a simple rule in hydrodynamics that gives your non-planing speed compared to the length of the hull or the board in our case. And there's a ratio 1.34 multiplied by the square root of the length of the board. So pretty much every time you add a little length, you're adding a little 30% ratio there. So that's why the boards are longer. They're also narrower for less drag, but we compensate the width with like more thickness, so we still have enough volume to get going at low speed. And that just makes it easy to get going. So not only the outline is helping the board to get going fast, but we also have that nose with a pretty high rocker with that bow nose that really opens up any water that you have in front. If your board goes under, the nose also convex, so there's no drag here. So the board is very easy to get going. And then in the back, we have the outline under the board that actually comes in at a point, which closes the waterline very nicely. So you have the very least amount of drag possible. And then for your standing position, under the feet, the board is quite flat, so you're as stable as this width can support. So you have a board that's still very stable, also thanks to the big foil you have underwater that makes everything stable, but that really is a board that looks very narrow, but it's not that hard to stand on and get going. And one of the beauty of that shape is that to get on foil, you actually don't really need to pump like the pros would do. You can just let the board take off slowly, get that speed that it's gonna take because of the low drag, and then focus on your wing and your wing pumping, or if you're with a paddle, focus on your paddling. The board will let you pump if you need to, thanks to the outline and the rocker, but you don't really have to. You can just take off like an airplane, and it makes it very easy in my mind to get going, even if you don't have the skills like the super good foilers have. So if you're wondering what foil you should get for the Feather LW, you can totally start with the foil you currently have. The advantage is it's just going to be easier to get to that takeoff speed with it. So any foil is just going to become easier for you to get on. So you can also go in lighter wind than you thought possible with your current foil. But very quickly, I think you're going to realize that you're going to want to ride on a higher aspect foil, like for example our new El Capitano, because the takeoff being easier, then the extra higher aspect ratio of the foil is going to allow you for more speed. So you're going to be riding in that super light wind at a higher speed than you've ever done. So that's definitely, I think, the natural transition. You can take your regular foil, and then you can upgrade to a higher aspect foil that you may have not think was possible for you because maybe you didn't have the level or you never had enough wind for it. Feather LW comes in two sizes, 100 liter, which is a 7.2 by 19.5, and 125 liter, which is a 7.5 by 19.5. So you can adjust depending on your weight. So make sure you visit your favorite dealer and get your hands on one of these boards, because I know it's really going to open up your winging to a whole new world that you didn't even know was possible before.